Hello all, today we are going to see the first session of NX CAM software. Mainly we cover today user interface of NX CAM, how to getting started in NX CAM and various type of views available in NX CAM Operation Navigator. If you are there in different application, how to move into the NX CAM application. First of all, whenever you open NX software, you are going to see this type of pop-up window. We call it as gateway window. Gateway is nothing but presently you are not in any kind of application. So if you would like to start a project from a beginning, then you have to click new. If you are willing to take existing model, then you have to go for open. Sometimes if you are loading a complete assembly for manufacturing, that time you need to take care of this assembly load options. In assembly load options, there are different types of versions available and scope is available. For a CAM user, you have to use always from folder and fully load option. If your components are in different locations or a path, then you have to choose from search folder. So remember, if all the components are there within the folder, that time you need to keep from folder. Always prefer to use this full load option instead of lightweight display. So what does it mean, lightweight display mean? If you take lightweight display, your component will be shown as a faceted body. It will not retain its attributes. So it is better to keep fully load option, then say OK. So before entering into any project, you need to keep assembly load option as full load option and from folder. Then you may see the topmost border bar, we call it as quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar deals with save of component quickly, and the commands which you have used recently, that will be shown, and there is a speech recognition. If at all, if you are not willing to use keyboard or a mouse, then you have to use this speech recognition mode. Once you click speech recognition, it will grasp your voice. According to that, it will elaborate itself. It has to have microphone with your computer or a laptop, then only you can use this speech recognition mode. So beside that, there is one more mode, that is touch mode. If your screen is touch enabled or it is having a touch sensors, that time you may use this touch mode. If you are having a different types of components, you would like to compare the two different or number of components to comparison, then if you are willing to use multi-layout, then you have to use this multi-layout option. In this multi-layout option, minimum window can be displayed is 1, as you know, and there are multiple options available, like you can use 2 different layout, 6 up to 6 you can move. So it is mainly used to compare 2 different component. Below that one, you may see this file, home, tools, progressive die or other applications here. Then we call it as tabs. These are by default tabs which are available in any kind of NX software, whether it may be NX11, NX9, NX10 or continuous release of NX. You might have seen in an older version like NX12, NX11 or something like that. In newer version, you may see only NX. Then how can understand in which version I am working? For that, you need to click File, Help, About NX. Why I am telling about this is, sometimes you have worked in, let's take latest version 2306. Then if you have saved that one, if you have given to someone else for working, further working, that time if they are using older version of NX, then that part will not get opened in a lower version once you save in newer version of NX. To know the version currently which I am using, you have to click File, Help, About NX. When you see this About NX version, it will show you the correct version which is available. 2306. Currently I am using 2306. So this new open, this we call it as ribbon bar. Whenever you are there in a particular application, that time the features or commands are highlighted in this ribbon bar. Below that we have menu bar, where you can see insert, tools, file, all the things are highlighted in this menu bar. So left side you may see this is resource bar, where you can see different kinds of navigators. If you are using a team center as a PLM, then you have to go to this web browser, then you have to work from here. Sometimes if you have worked and if you want to see the history, then below that one you may click and it will show the history. Presently it's my first session, that's why there is no history. Once I start working on it, then it will show the history which I worked, like today, yesterday, tomorrow, everything it will be shown. Before entering into the CAM, you should set roles as advanced. You need to click on role, go to this content and take this advanced role. There are two different kinds mainly. One is essential and another is advanced. When you keep advanced, all the commands or many commands are highlighted in a ribbon bar. If you keep essential, then the required minimum amount of commands will be shown on the ribbon bar. So essential is used whenever you are new to the software. If you are working for a industry or a professional, that time you have to keep advanced. Initially on handhold you can use essential, but preferred one is advanced. If you keep welcome, then it will be treated as a welcome role. So in welcome role and essential there is no much difference, but preferred one is advanced. So you may see here in Discover Center what all the new things or the capabilities which are included in NX software, that will be shown here. If you are willing to learn that particular feature or a command, then you have to click here. Then here learn more option is there. Once you click that one, and it will go to this Siemens directory, or the internet access should be needed for this. Then only it will go to the cloud, Siemens cloud, and it will explain about that particular command. So it will be helpful you to self-learn. And also if you are willing to see what are the new things which are added from the lower version, then you click on what's new. Once you click what's new, you need to select different versions of NX which you are already used. From that, if you would like to know, for example, if I am a user of NX12, I would like to know what all the things which are added after NX12 up to this particular version. The current version which I am using is NX 2306, which is released in June 2023. So every 6 months you are going to see one major release. Once you need to select your product. If you are a CAD user, then go for NX for design. If you are a CAM user, then go for NX for manufacturing. Once you click that particular filter, you may see all the features which are related to manufacturing. If you want to know about that, then you click here and it will elaborate. Again it will go to this web, then it will explain about itself. So this is the best part of this newer version of NX. If you click highlight here, then the icons will get highlighted, which includes there is any enhancement that will get highlighted like a red dot here, you may see. And also there is one option, help. Once you click help, it will go to the library and it will give you different types of hint. Now I am starting a new project. For that time you need to click new. Once you click new, one new pop-up window will come. In that there are different modules of NX which are highlighting here. Some people may call it as applications of NX. By default it will come for modeling, and if you are directly willing to move to the manufacturing, then select this manufacturing and give that particular setup or a project name. Like if I see, give ABC as my project name. And one more thing, every time you should not write the extension, it will take by default itself. The common extension for NX software is .prt. Irrespective of application, if you are working NX CAD model, it's also having a .prt extension. If you are a manufacturing guy, the extension is .prt, drafting also .prt, assembly also .prt. It means a common extension for all the applications. So you can switch from one application to the other application within a single click. This is the one advantage of using NX CAM software. For example, if you are modeling in some other software, if you are taking in this particular software, you need to convert that particular component to other neutral formats like STEP, IGES, Parasolid. There are 1% of chance of losing a data. So if it is in a native format, then it is well and good, and it is having all the data with it. So next is, you have to keep a unit. Whether you want to work in millimeters, you need to select in millimeters. If you are working in inches, then you need to select inches. So it depends on you. Then you may see here, when I change the unit, that time ultimately it has changed the name. So first and foremost thing is to select the units, then you go for naming the project. You may see .prt, automatically it came. Now again I am typing ABC. So this is my component name or a project name. I would like to save in this particular folder. So for example, if you are willing to give your own directory, then click here to browse. Once you click, it will ask you where you want to save. Let's take, if I want to save in this particular folder, then I will click here and I will say OK. So when I save this particular file, it will be saved under this particular directory. Sometimes if you have, by default, if you are there in modeling, here from here if you want to move, you can move it, and also you can switch into the CAM environment. So by default it is there in a modeling, so I am entering into the modeling. Suppose if you want, you can directly switch to manufacturing. Once I hit OK, then it will start changing its user interface according to the modeling. Once I enter into the modeling, I may observe there are features or the commands which are related to NX CAD that will be highlighted here. And also you may observe in a resource bar, there is a assembly navigator. If you are using any assembly, the components will be highlighted here. And while doing assembly, what are the constraints you have used, that will be shown in this constraint navigator. And the third one is a part navigator. This is a tree structure or a feature structure whatever all the features you have used to create a component, that will be shown here. So below that one is reusable library. If you are using a component or a fixture number of times, that time you have to keep that fixture in this particular reuse library so that you can access very easily. The name itself indicates reuse library. So now, instead of working in a modeling, I would like to go for manufacturing. So there are three ways to enter into the manufacturing. One is by clicking application, manufacturing. If you click application, all the application will be shown here, different applications. In this specifically, I would like to go for manufacturing. This is one way. Another way is by pressing shortcut key. You may see in a bracket there is a shortcut key, Ctrl Alt M. When you click Ctrl Alt M, you will be entering into the manufacturing. The third method is here. When you click on file, there is also, you may see manufacturing. Any one of these you may select. The best way is to use the shortcut key. Otherwise, if you are not remembering the shortcut key, then go for application and manufacturing. Whenever you are entering into the first time into the manufacturing, you may observe this particular pop-up window which elaborates machining environment. By default, you have to keep CAM general. In that CAM general itself, all the types of CAM setups are present. So different CAM setups indicate different types of operation which you are going to do. Suppose if you keep mill planar, and if you use operations which are there in a mill planar, then you can do 2.5 axis milling. What is the term name 2.5 axis? If you know VMC, which is working in a 3 axis, sometimes you may observe there are some pockets, or while doing facing, that is called 2.5 axis. Means your cutter movement is measured, or it is universally present as a Z movement. So it will come to a certain position and the movement of cutter will get stopped and table movement will be started simultaneously. Means your cutter will come to a certain position and your table will start its motion in XY direction. That we call it as 2.5 axis. Suppose your table movement and cutter movement is also there simultaneously, then we call it as 3 axis. So if there are multiple type of machines are available in the market, you may get 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5 axis, 6 axis and 7 axis machines are available. So according to your need, you have to select the CAM setup. Suppose if I want to go for 3 axis finishing of irregular surface, that moment I have to select mill contour. The contour word itself indicates an irregular face, and you can get all the commands which are related to 3 axis in this mill contour. Suppose if you are having a cylindrical component, if you would like to go for 4th axis machining, that to be rotary, then you have to use this mill rotary is the best option for rotary kinds of component, or taper kinds of component, that to be cylindrical. If you are willing to work more than 3 axis, then you have to use mill multi-axis. Multi-axis is nothing but you can use it for 3.5 axis, more than 3 generally. And if you are having a project which is related to blade or impeller blade, that moment you have to use this mill multi-blade. This is one specific module which is for impeller machining. So automatically it will generate the operations for mill planar like structure. There you have to select hub, shrink, all kinds of other different parts you need to parts of a surface you need to select to generate a operation. So presently I will go for this mill planar. It's not like I have selected mill planer, I have to do only mill planer operations. Not like that. You can switch to different setups according to your need. Suppose if you are having mill turn or a turn mill, that time you need to use combo of turning and milling. So it is switchable. No need to worry. In turning also you are getting two types of turning. Nowadays VTL you are going to see. Earlier only turning is available in an older version of NX. First I will keep it main planar. When I hit mill planar, completely I am shifting to the manufacturing. So you may observe here the commands which are you were seeing few minutes back as commands of this particular CAD activity. Now we are into manufacturing. So you may see in a ribbon bar manufacturing related tools or features. One more thing you might have observed, when I entered into the manufacturing, this operation navigator get added below this part navigator. So all the activity which we are doing in manufacturing, that will be there in operation navigator. In operation navigator there are four types of view. So first one is program order view, second one is machine tool view, third one is geometry view, and fourth one is machining method view. Each and individual view is having their specific characteristics while doing operation. The first is operation program order view. This view you have to use to reorder the operation. Suppose if you have done 50 kinds of operations to finish one particular component, at that moment you have to arrange in sequence so that operator will follow that sequence and it will be machined. Sometime if you have done one roughing operation, then you have done semi-finishing operation, there are rest roughing operations that you have to give sequentially. That has to be done in program order view. I'm not telling you that you have to do here in itself in this particular view, but it is mandatory to use this program order view while generating G code and M code to give it for the machine. And also while taking a shop document, it is mandatory to keep program order view. It is the best practice. If you are willing to do NC simul or simulation on a machine by keeping your component, so virtually you can see on the software how exactly it runs on the actual machine. So that can be done in this machining order, and also the operations which you have used with respect to cutter will be highlighted here. The third one is geometric view. It is a very important view. Whenever you are starting any project in a CAM, you have to work in geometry view while generating specifically operations, where you can get this MCS, Workpiece and other controls. So from scratch, whenever you are working, you have to be use this particular geometric view. And the fourth one is machining method view. Sometimes if you are having 20 machines or 10 machines, some machines are older machines, if it is having a less surface finish, then some people may use that particular machine for roughing, and the machine which is having good surface finish, that will be used for finishing. In that scenario, you have to use this particular view to segregate different types of methods. Means if you are mentioning while generating operation as roughing, then that will come under this particular group of mill rough. If you mention in a finishing, then those operations will be listed below this one. So whenever you want to take group output of roughing, you may take it from here. Whenever you want to take group output from mill for finishing, you may take it from here. So this is the beauty of software. You can use these type of four types of views for different scenario. So this is a user interface of NX. In geometry view, again I came here. You may click here or right click on this paper. I call this empty space as a paper. You right click here and you may switch from another one view to another view from here also. If I take program order view, this will get changed to program order view. Again I will click here geometry view. Again I will be there in geometric view. This NX software supports for different kinds of file formats. That may be a step, IGES, Parasolid, or STL file also you can open. To import any kind of part, click on file and go for import. Here you may see the native NX part is .prt, that also you can import. Parasolid you can import. Parasolid is nothing but the components which are having .xt file, that also you can import. If you are having AutoCAD DXF DWG, means if you want to do 2D programming by using sketches or curves which are done in AutoCAD, that also converter is available. You may directly import AutoCAD DXF DWG and start working on it. And also there is a STL. STL, it's a very rare converter which is available for CAM software. In NX CAM software it is there by default. When you take this STL, STL is nothing but a scanned body. This software has a capability you can directly work on the scan body and you can machine. But the quality of the scan body should be good. Sometimes if while doing scanning, if some surfaces are missing, then cutter will not judge whether there is a component or nothing. Directly it will go and there start machining. So you have to be take care by specifying this STL file. The next is you may have different types of step converters. One is step 203, step 214, step 242, and also you are going to get converters for IGES. So mainly used step converter is step 214, from where you can import other kinds of data. As you may see, in ribbon bar there are different groups. You may see here there is an insert group which consists create tool, which will help to create a different types of cutters, or you can import different types of cutters for this particular session. And you can create a geometry. Create geometry is nothing but if you want to add different MCS. Sometimes if you are using 10 number of components at a time, if you want to mount on a machine, that moment if you want outputs as G55, G54, G56, like that, if you want, that time you have to insert multiple MCs. That can be created by clicking this create geometry. You may get this multiple workpiece if you are doing number of setups. When you click create tool, it will show you the number of different kinds of tools and you can create according to your need. Sometimes some people will create initially, then they go for creating operation, or most of the people use while doing operation itself they will create a tool. Create operation is nothing but creating new kinds of operations like roughing, facing, finishing, semi-finishing you can do, that we may see in upcoming sessions. And variable contour, and this is a predict operations. Predict operation means frequently commands which I have used, this software will predict itself, means it will recognize the prediction of the operation and it will show here. So many times I use this variable contour operation to make 5-axis machining, and also this variable guiding curves for 5-axis machining to make 2.5 axis machining or pocket milling or something. If I use this planar mill, that is the prediction of the software, which operations I have to use. It decides on our regular practice. So maximum time I have used variable control, that's why this feature is highlighting more. And also you may see here actions. Actions are nothing but you can give properties, information, edit object, cut object, copy and paste object. These are the edit object is nothing but you can give transparency, you can give color, edit display object, like that you may give it. And if you want validate the report, you can validate by, if you are having HD 3D license with you. If you are willing to simulate on the machine, simulate on machine by keeping this, we will see in future this simulation simulate machine, because it is very important. Before going to actual cutting, we need to validate or virtual commissioning by using this particular simulate option which is available. That will be there in total machining license. For 3-axis license it will not be there in by default. Display path, if you, whenever you create an operation, that time if you want to see the display, then you activate this by clicking. And also whenever you create an operation, that if you want to eliminate, that will come under this toolpath animation. Like that we are having different feature groups according to you, according to that you need to use. The main thing is operation navigator. And one more, the specific we have this particular one is machining feature navigator. This is added in our NX manufacturing. And if you are having different similar type of features with you, suppose if you are having one plate, on that 1000 holes are there. In 1000 hole there are some holes which are similar. Then if you start selecting each and individual hole, there might be chances of missing the hole or selecting a different hole. I will give one example. If you are having a hole with a diameter of 10 and hole with a diameter of 10.1, by naked eye when you see, you can see that it looks similar. If you are having 1000 or 500 holes, that time it will look similar. Then if you click on those, then there might be chances of misdrilling. Misdrilling is nothing but instead of 10.1, if I make 10, then it's a rejected piece. So if you take help of a software to recognize the feature, then if you make a group feature is nothing but it will make similar kinds of features in a single group. And when you click or insert an operation in that particular group, where all the different or similar type of holes are available, there exactly it will go and it will generate an operation. This is a beauty of NX software that we call it as feature based machining, that we are going to see in upcoming session. So this we call it as user interface of NX. And here you may observe this is a datum coordinate system which is available, and you may observe there is a ZM, YM, XM. This we call it as machine coordinate system. The suffix M represents it is for machining, ZC, YC, XC, C indicates it is a CAD1. CAD1 is nothing but WCS, World Coordinate System. It's not mandatory to maintain MCS and WCS same. It's up to you where you want to keep WCS or MCS. So these are the by default user interface which is available in NX software. This is a first session which we completed by specifying all the user interface of NX. Thank you.